Capacitor discharge units. What are they? What do they do? Let's go under the baseboards and have a look, shall we? Roll the intros. Hi guys, and welcome back to Chelmswood Junction. I'm Peter. Today we are going to be looking at a capacitor discharge unit, or a CDU. Now mine is from Gaugemaster. I've had mine for well over a year now, and I use it for the switching of my Pico point motors. You can also use them on seat point motors. What are they and what do they do? Well, a CDU is basically, it's like a kind of like a battery. You connect it up to a auxiliary port on the back of a transformer from either a controller or an actual transformer itself that's purely for auxiliaries. And the discharge unit slowly, well, I won't say slowly, quickly charges up. And when you're ready to throw your point motors, either your Pico or your seat point motors, the CDU gives your point motors an extra big kick of electricity to help them throw from one side to the other. Now, yes, you can use Pico point motors straight from a 16 to 18 volt or 14 to 16 volt power supply, but it can be a bit weak. And if you want to use, you know, multiple points, say like you're going from one main line to another main line and you've got your points connected, you can have your point motors connected on one switch, so both point motors switch. With just wiring it straight through to an auxiliary terminal, it might not have the full power to throw both motors simultaneously, whereas a capacitor discharge unit charges up that power. And when you want to throw those 2 points or a single point or multiple points in a row, it gives you that added extra whack of electricity. Now I'm going to take you underneath the baseboard, guys. I'll put the teeth back in then. I'm going to take you underneath the baseboard and we're going to show you what the CDU is and how I've wired it up. Now you've got to please excuse my wiring underneath this part of the baseboard. As I said in one of my updates, it has just recently been all completely ripped out and replaced, and at the moment I'm in the process of pinning the wires up onto the baseboard. So please guys, don't go, oh my god, your wiring's a mess. It's still in the process of being finished. So let's take you underneath the baseboard and we'll have a look, shall we? So as you can see guys, we are now under the baseboards, and here is the capacitor discharge unit. And as I was saying, how I power it up is, there is my Gaugemaster single walk around combi controller. You've got the positive and negative wire coming out of the 16 to 18 volt auxiliary port there, and it goes up and it goes into, let me just zoom you in a bit guys, into the right hand side of the CDU. Now the CDU is not polarity conscious. It doesn't matter whether you put the red in this one and the black in this one, but you've got to make sure if you put the black into this one, you've got to put the black for the output out on this one, otherwise you could possibly short circuit it. So what basically happens is, the auxiliary port on the controller powers up what these look like. They're capacitors, but basically it's like a battery. And what it does, it charges up power, and once it gets to a full power, it then helps, let me swing you around, it then helps you with your Pico or seat turn-up motors. Now, yes, you can use your Pico and seat point motors without the capacitor discharge unit, but they will have problems throwing from either the left or to the right. With this, you're always guaranteed a whack of charge that will go straight to your point motor, and it will throw it bang straight away. Now, as you can see, I've got all my point motors hooked up, and how I do it is I take the negative wire from here, and it goes all the way along my baseboard. Excuse the wiring, guys, I still haven't finished under here. Up to the control panel, which is just about around there. So that's the black one. The red one goes out of the CDU. Sorry for moving you about, guys. And goes first of all to this point motor here, and then it relays over to them two, and then so on and so on, and then it carries on to the next ones there, and they all literally relay from one to another to another to another until it gets to the far end one, right at the far end, and that's where the red wire stops. And obviously all you have to do is then wire your other two sides of your point motor for the switch, obviously, because obviously the black wire goes to the switch. So that is the capacitor discharge itself. Okay, guys, so there you have it, guys. You've now seen underneath the baseboards of how I wire in and use a capacitor discharge unit. Now, like I said, mine is from Gaugemaster, and at the time, which is September 2020, you can find them between £13 to £15, depending, as always, where you buy them from. If you're running on a budget, look around, shop around. I dare say you might be able to find one cheaper. You never know. If you go onto places like eBay, where, you know, you've got people like myself that are switching from Pico point motors and seat point motors, and they're going over to digital motors. You never know, people might be selling, you know, point motors and CDUs and switches and things like that on eBay as a bundle. You never know. I haven't looked personally myself, but I dare say there probably is people out there that sell them. I will be later on, once I've got all my switches switched out for cobalts. Would I recommend a CDU if you're using Pico and seat points? Definitely. Definitely. It gives you the confidence that when you go to throw the switch for your points, it gives that massive whack of electricity that the point motor needs in the solid for the solenoid to change the point motor. Okay, guys, hope this video has been a bit of a help. Sorry if I've babbled on a bit there, here, there, and everywhere, but as I say, I don't do editing on my videos, and you get what you get from me, and people seem to like it. Anyway, if you're not a subscriber, why not join the channel? It's growing very slowly, and you can come forward with me as I take this massive railway from bare baseboards to scenic model railway. So hit the subscribe button on the left, on the right hand side, and if you want to hit the like button, please do hit the like button, and if you want to leave a comment below, please do leave a comment. And above all, guys, take care of yourselves, stay safe, look after each other, but above all, happy modelling. Bye bye from now.